Man, we're going to have a lot of fun tonight in Vancouver, all my real fans.
The following is a hockey podcast out of Vancouver and Surrey, British Columbia. It'll only consist of a lot of puck talk and even more BS, or in actual words, banter and satire. Enjoy, and as always, go Canucks go.
We need Phil Kessel, man. We need Phil Kessel ASAP. I need a hug. I need a drink. I need to get through this. I'm going to do that with you and you and you. Let's do this. Locked On Canucks.
You're Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Welcome to another episode of this right here. Locked On Canucks. My name is Kyle Bowen. That's KYLEBHAWAN. And man, oh man, we're doing this out of the Don't Doze Art Lab, the home of the West Coast Spies. Speaking of which, I gotta be honest, I could be fired for doing this show right now. Straight up. Why? Because KGB, he's in the background making music. And what am I doing? Possibly talking over it. Yes, possibly talking over it. Because the Canucks, man, losers of 6 of 7. 6 of 7. And it's okay. Because Phil Kessel is coming to save the day. Yo, this story, right? This story. Also, by the way, if you hear some music in the background, I'm sorry, there's nothing I can do about that. But hey, I'm here. I'm here through the mud, okay? I grind it out. Anyways, let's talk about the story, right? Being written about your Vancouver Canucks. It's been everything. Everything. Captain Quinn Hughes, right? He gets the seat. Turns into what? The best defenseman. Well, one of them in the NHL. More on that later. What else happens? Pettersson. I'm not going to go through it. I think we've dropped 7 episodes in the last 2 days on Elias Pettersson. You already know the deal. Look at the Archie Baines thing, right? More to the story and more on him in a couple of minutes. Look at the value. Yes, the value Philip Roenick has given to you. Look at the value JT Miller has given to you. The story. All the trades. Lindholm, the story. And the success. Look at the record. And now look at the adversity. Real adversity. The Canucks, losers of 6 of 7, 5 of those in regulation. Speaking of regulation, the Canucks, I think they have 3 regulation wins. 3 of them in their last 15 games. Do the math. They're struggling. That's the truth. And there have been some bright spots through the struggle, right? Sometimes we play games where we could have won. Sometimes we play games where we're playing 2 teams. Things happen. You can swallow those. But moments like that, right? On this Thursday night, on this leap year, that ain't good enough. And that's proof that this team is struggling. Now look at Angelo. Shout out to the comments, okay? Hronek was bad. Everyone was bad. Everyone was boring. They got to be a lot better. They know that. Anyways, the story. Let's talk about it, right? Phil Kessel. That's what's missing here, okay? The adversity is here. It's scary. It's bringing back some trauma, to be honest. And look who's coming to save the day. Phil Kessel. Hey, speaking of saving the day, isn't that one of the biggest reasons why they always wanted him in the first place, right? They're envisioning the playoffs. They're envisioning the future. They're envisioning adversity. And how do they get through that adversity? But by making life easier. Who makes life easier? In that dressing room, the coolest guy in the NHL. Everyone's favorite teammate. Phil Kessel. How does he do it? We don't know. We're not NHL players. All I'm saying is that card hasn't been used yet. If the team struggles with Phil Kessel in that dressing room, then you're going to hear a different tone. Should we talk about the game? Should we talk about some of the moments? No. Should we talk about the players? Why not? Phil Kessel, talked about him. Quinn Hughes, the other American hero. Doing the most, trying to bring the Stanley Cup back to, I was about to say Canada, but I'm going to say Vancouver. Quinn Hughes got to be a lot better. So much better. And he has to be so much better because for a lot of these dreams to come true, right? Cup or bust. For us to get to June, for us to play in the 3rd round or the 4th round, Quinn Hughes has to be one of the best players in hockey. And since the All-Star break, he's played a lot. He's used a lot. But my eye test is telling me he's struggling a whole lot. This is how the people are feeling. Look at Angelo, man. Time to strip Quinn of the captaincy. Bro, chill out. It's all good. Don't bring that energy here. I mean, you can fan the way you want to fan, but man, reading that hurts. Anyways, Quinn Hughes, again, got to be a lot better. A big reason why the team has only won 3 regulation games in their last 15 games. Do the math. It's because one of the best players in hockey, who plays the most important position in hockey, right? A position that you and I have never seen, the number 1 defenseman. That guy has to return. And luckily, it's that guy who has to return. He's accountable. He hates losing. You can see it in his face. You can see it in the way he plays. Life happens, man. Sometimes you struggle. A big reason why I know the Canucks are going to get out of this, outside of just the whole Phil Kessel thing. Again, a lot of star players on this team. They seem really, really competitive. They are really, really competitive. Life happens. They're struggling. But I don't think this thing is going to last very long. Should we do it? Archie Baines, Surrey. One love to Surrey. I think every musician in here today is actually from Surrey. Anyways, Surrey. Archie Baines. Gotta be shooting that puck. And that's when you know. That's when you know. This guy's thinking too much. Add another one to the pile. A bunch of players on the Vancouver Canucks overthinking almost everything. Gripping the stick too tight. Not being fluid. Archie Baines has a chance to, I don't know, make the game closer late in the 3rd period after the Kings made it 4-1, and he has a glorious chance, and he's looking to make a pass. And there's been instances, many of them, in the past couple of games where you notice a little bit of confidence in Archie's game, right? There's even plays where I feel as if his line can establish more offensive zone time, but there he is. There he is making a line change. As if he's not playing instinctively and feeling as if he's the rookie on the team. He's got to keep things short. He doesn't got to go attack. He doesn't have to play his game. He has to play the coach's game. It just creates this scenario where the math isn't right for him to be ready for the NHL. Look at this question. Dale Smith, curious, did you play hockey growing up? I'll tell you what, man. And this is why these losses hurt so much, right? This is how much of a hockey fan I am. Growing up, I only played street hockey. A lot of street hockey. A bunch of street hockey. And then it transferred over to ball hockey. And even at the age of 15, where I never played any sort of organized ice hockey at all, there I was, only dreaming about being a Vancouver Canuck. Straight up. I'm a child at heart, a dreamer. And I've said it many times, okay? Dreams. Kids, don't listen to this, okay? Dreams don't come true. If they came true, I'd be playing for the Vancouver Canucks, okay? Anyways, I love this game. I've only played ball hockey. Look at this. Okay, this is a big comment. Jax, bring back Kuzmenko. And one left in the comments, okay? I guess Jax is having buyer's remorse with Lindholm and not an $8 million per player type of guy. Yeah, he's got to do more. And, we brought up Archie Baines. This guy's had a lot of time with Lindholm and Miller and Garland. And there's no points. The Canucks are a top dog team, right? One of those teams. Making a bunch of trades. Teams traded 2 first-round picks in 12 months. They've made 2 of the biggest trades in the NHL this season, right? Do the math. This season matters. It matters a lot. And if you're playing with those guys for quite some time, even if, it's your first batch of games, there's got to be some offensive production from, more specifically, the line in general. And that's not happening, okay? It's not really happening for anyone that's not on the ice with JT Miller consistently, right? Do the math again on that. Has he been on the ice for, well, not only just on the ice, but has he been a part of over 70% of this team's goals in the last 5 games, 6 games? I think so. Which kind of brings it back to this, right? We're not going to talk about the game. We're going to talk about the players. JT Miller doing the most. Quinn Hughes not doing the most. Archie Baines, he gets the pass. He's a rookie. I'm being hard on him. I'm just stating facts. But he's not really to blame for 3 regulation wins in 15 games, if the math is correct. I know this, 6 of 7. Now we've lost 5 of them in regulation. Tonight being the worst. And the scary thing is the other worst game of the year was last week. It was last week, 7 days ago. Dude, I'm hurt. Anyways, more of the best players on this team are to, be accountable for the struggles. And I think Demko, I'm not going to blame him for Pittsburgh at all. The dude was that guy. And I'm not necessarily going to even really blame him today, but this team in its path to June and whatnot will need stretches where Demko is the story for 2 or 3 games in a row. And those chapters in the story result in wins. The way this team's playing, with the lines being in a blender, it's the right time for us to believe that this team desperately needs Demko to steal them some game, to get them out of this quote-unquote slump. I think that can happen too. Pettersson. Again, do we have to talk about Pettersson? That turnover led to a goal. Overthinking a little bit, maybe. Contract noise in his head, maybe. Overall, can't be doing that. And he's got to be a lot better. Look, I think all those guys are going to be a lot better. And I think a lot of those guys are going to benefit a lot from a guy like Phil Kessel. Look, you can't lose 6 or 7 in the playoffs, right? This team just got here. We all need to agree that if we do want to make a long playoff run, this team's going to have to get really, really lucky, because teams with no experience at all rarely do anything in the playoffs in any sport. And if they do, a lot of luck. A lot of being able to bounce back from adversity real quick. Because again, you can't lose 6 or 7 in the playoffs. Last time I checked, I know I haven't really been there in a long time. That's impossible. And I know I'm 30 and a half years old, losing my marbles. But again, I don't need the calculator for that. And a good way to prevent that from happening, right? Losing 4 or 5 or 4 or 6 or 4 or 7 is having Demko be bubble Demko. And Pettersson being bubble Pettersson, or Quinn Hughes being bubble Quinn Hughes. Those guys bringing it when the games really matter. And I know it's only been one time, but they proved it to a different level. Which brings me back to this point, and it always ties back to Phil Kessel, okay? It really does. I think the Canucks right now, not only are they not having a lot of fun, they seem really bored. Like some of those guys, they seem really, really bored. I know it sounds crazy. So crazy. But they've been itching to get to the playoffs as core, as a unit, since getting that taste way back when, right? And here they are, or there they were, with what? A 20-point cushion, a 30-point cushion. Those are the numbers they were looking at some of the teams that were chasing them, right? It felt like that. And then came the All-Star break and just a break in general. And it seems as if they feel as if they don't have to be highly motivated to generate victories consistently. In other words, they're playing like they're a little bored. And you know what? The only one that's not playing like that? The guy who's been there and has a desire to really win, because he hasn't won yet. JT Miller, right? He's the only guy right now that doesn't seem bored out of those top guys. He's seasoned. The Rangers, the Lightning. He's been there multiple times, right? If I'm correct. And think about this. He was traded right before Tampa Bay got that mini dynasty, right? Think about that. That's crazy. You get traded and the team that you just left wins all those cups. Boom, bam, boom. And knowing Miller's competitive nature, that's eating him up. These games, they got to matter right away. I think Tocchet is going to speak some sense into those guys specifically, right? The Quinn Hugheses, the Demkos, the Petterssons. And he's going to remind them, you got to get it going right now. You got to warm up right now. And this team, they desperately need you to, A, get better and stop. And this is the important one, right? Stop making mistakes. Because if y'all are making mistakes, the rest of the team is obviously going to do so. Because there's levels to this, right? And they're a lot more calmer when you guys are playing at that level. Anyways, let's get to the comments. I want to make this one short. That's my ramble. Again, Phil Kessel saves the day. This team needs to lighten. Do we have the button? I need a producer here, man. Do we have the button? This team needs to... lighten the... up, okay? Again, I need a producer. Let's get to the comments. Man, oh man. Look at Dale Smith. We need Tocchet on the ice. We do. Better Tocchet. Well, I don't know if I can say that, but yeah, JT Miller. We have JT Miller, okay? They do different things, but they're kind of the same when it comes to their intensity, okay? These guys really care. Look at Infamous, okay? Miller just said in a recent interview that this is his favorite season as a Vancouver Canucks, so that's good. That's great. He's having fun. JT Miller, man, one of the coolest guys in hockey, too. I've said it so many times, right? Future face of the league, JT Miller. Do I sound crazy? No. The Canucks go deep in the playoffs. Who's going to be leading them? Come on. How about this? Matthew, man. One of my favorite fans, okay? This guy's an emotional dude. I'm so sad. I better get Joshua and Susie back. Look, we're all talking about a 8-year extension for Elias Pettersson. Dude, where's this 8-year extension for Dakota Joshua? Straight up. You know who's a a way better player with Dakota Joshua, Connor Garland. How about lefty, man? What happened? Missed most of the game, bro. You know, I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to pour myself a little drink, okay? I'm not even sure if we're allowed to do this, but hey. FanDuel, right? Come on, okay? And you know what? A funny story about this bottle, this Casamigos bottle, okay? The boss brought it, and he said, yo, only bring this out if you really need to, okay? If someone's coming to the studio, pull it out, do it for them, bam, bam, bam. Okay, you know, I'm going to do it for the fans, okay? So, screw the people flying in. How about you and you and you and you, okay? The ultimate West Coast bias being poured out for my Canucks fans, because you know what? I need a drink after that one, okay? Lefty, don't watch the game. Don't watch the game, okay? Just watch this episode of Locked On Canucks. Again, okay? Straight up. We need Phil Kessel, okay? Look at this comment, okay? Red risotto. Risotto, man. You need to eat some risotto, okay? Lighten up. Because this is some dark energy. Should I say it? Anyways, if I may, I'll say it. Tocchet overcoached this team into a beer league hockey team. Man, oh man, overcoaching. I don't think that's the case. This team's not having fun in this moment, but in general, the Canucks are a way better place. Well, a way better team to be around. Rogers Arena, in general, a way better place to be around, and they know that a lot of that has to do with Rick Tocchet. This is what happens, though, man. Sometimes you struggle in life, man. It's never perfect. You know, teams who don't go 82-0 and win the Stanley Cup, right? It's part of the story, man. And I'm telling you, this weird miracle-like season that came out of nowhere, and it has so many different layers to it, right? So many different scenarios. Again, Archie Baines, right? Kid from Surrey, struggling right now, but bro, this guy's a good player. This could be a learning experience for him. And more notably, Rick Tocchet really trusts him. He trusts him more than we trust him. I could see this guy coming back in the playoffs if there's an injury and doing well. He's a good player. He's part of the story. But all in all, the Miracle's last main character might be Phil Kessel, okay? Tocchet, Phil Kessel, dynamic duo. Better than the Sedins? Maybe. Risotto, not having fun. He's overcoaching. Dude, he'll figure it out, okay? I'm not doubting Tocchet. He's won a lot. He hasn't been the best head coach ever. I know it. Look at the stats, but he's won a lot. He's won a lot more than us. Played with some of the best players, coached some of the best players. I trust this guy. I think they trust him too. Japan, man, we wouldn't be in this position. Oh, in a positive way. Of course, okay? I was reading this in a negative sense, right? We wouldn't be in this position if it wasn't for Tocchet and him, you know, putting the lines in a blender and putting Tyler Myers on the power play. But no, Japan's saying, yo, we wouldn't be here, all of us here on Locked On Canucks, if it wasn't for the success of this team and Rick Tocchet, one of those main characters, maybe the main character, right? Really did something. How about David with this comment? Okay, Dakota with Kessel. I think when Joshua comes back, Bluger and Garland are going to be his best friends again. I think Phil Kessel, to be honest, has a big opportunity if this team doesn't go out and get a Busnevich or Gensel or Toffoli. I think Kessel has a big opportunity to, you know, wipe out pretty much all of Eli Mikheyev's ice time in the top six. AKA, he's going to get some time with Miller or Pettersson. Straight up. Again, main character energy, Phil Kessel in the room and on the ice. Why not, okay? Could you imagine Phil Kessel having 5 goals in a 6-game series against the Toronto Maple Leafs in the Stanley Cup Finals? Boom. If that happens, bro, I'm getting 81 tattooed on my butt, okay? It ain't no one. You heard it here first. Straight up. What should we do here? Run an ad and then end off the last 5 minutes with some comments? Why not? Okay, let's stick around for a bit. Why not? Let's get over this together. Let's keep our spirits high. The Anaheim on Sunday. Let's go get a W. But first, now let's show some love to eBay Motors.
eBay Motors is everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance. From superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, LED headlights, and more. Whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has got you covered. With over 122 million parts to choose from for your number one ride or die, you'll always find exactly what you're looking for. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time or your money back. Woo! Because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, not cash, baby. With all the parts you need at the prices you want, it's easy to turn your car into the MVP and bring home that win. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Let's ride. And items only, exclusions apply. eBay Guarantee Fit only available to U.S. customers.
Okay, we back here at the Don't Those Art Labs, talking to you and you and you and you on this program, Locked On Canucks. My name is Kyle Bowen, and yo, I'm the worst at promoting, bro. Straight up. The worst. We got that contest, right? You can win 2 tickets to the rematch. Don't you want to be there? March the 25th. Yo, that game was boring. But hey, we got some tickets we're giving away too. March the 25th against the LA Kings. We'll announce the winner when on the 22nd of March. Yes, we will. All you have to do is subscribe to the show and also subscribe to the Discord. Speaking of that Discord, bro, JS and Mr. Whale, y'all getting free drinks, okay, at the first watch party and free nachos. Remember this. Subscribe to the Discord. Anyways, let's get to the comments, okay? Straight up. Joshua's number 81. So what is Kessel going to wear? Whatever he wants. Give him 16. Yo, give him 16. Give him 22. Jokes aside, I don't think he cares. Oh, how about... Is anyone wearing... Oh, no. Never mind. Was going to say something dumb. Straight up. Mr. Whale, okay? Talkit is a puzzle guy. Yo, speaking of which... this is a really great comment, okay? We all got to live life, right? We all got to do the things we love. We all got to spend some time with what makes us us. And Talkit, like, he's talked about puzzles more than he's talked about his family, right? His friends, the other things in life, right? This guy loves puzzles. He loves puzzles more than structure. And maybe so much so that he's bringing that energy into hockey at this time of the year because maybe he's bored. Like the cushion, right? We've talked about this many times. The cushion allowed Talkit to maneuver what works and turn it to a new scenario, a new possibility, and that's figuring out if this will work too, because he has a lot of options and he's a head coach and he's a hockey mind. And again, the cushion, I guess I wouldn't even say a little bit of struggle because they did come back in the third against St. Louis and came back in the third against Columbus and beat Carolina. But with acquiring Lindholm and just, I don't know, glimpses of inconsistent play, he immediately changed everything. He was moving those pieces around, right? And one of the biggest things that happened post getting your ass kicked by Boston in Boston was taking JT Miller off of that wall on his side, right next to Quinn Hughes, right on that left side. And that was a sign to me that he's experimented with this cushion. This all being said, I think he's gonna resort back to, I was gonna say some of the basics, but now saying that out loud, can he? Because things are different. Things are different. Lindholm makes things different. And look at this comment. This may be one of the biggest, greatest, most fascinating comments ever, because even though I don't think it's true, I think Trevor Beggs, the dude who's on the cover art of this episode, would think it's possible, and that's this, okay? Do you think, and this comes from Bob Bluger, you think Jim is going to quick flip Lindholm for a winger that clicks with Pettersson? Whoa. Quick flip. With the quick flip, right? Damn. That is something. And Trevor would think about this being a possibility because Lindholm, he's a professional. He's great at, I don't know, winning draws. One of the best. But they gave up a lot. They gave up a lot. They could have just got Chris Tanev and given up a lot less, aka a guy that's also a true professional, right? A guy who skates well and blocks shots, makes a good first pass. But the Canucks gave up a first and a third, a dude named Hunter Kuzmenko, a first, okay, a first and a third. That package just sounds as if you need a lot more in return, right? And a big reason why the Canucks are struggling is, again, JT Miller's doing the most and pretty much doing it all. And we talked about Demko, Hughes, and Pettersson. Yo, Lindholm, you can help out too in other ways. Now look at Alec Taylor, okay? I think Lindholm has lost value since the trade. I mean, like, again, Lindholm, I don't know if he's lost value. We definitely haven't seen the best. I think all those things can be true. But he definitely needs to play with more spark to deliver what I think management, let alone the fans, thought of when bringing him, okay? Because they traded not for the Elias Lindholm of the Calgary Flames of this year or the last year. They pretty much created a package that kind of looks something similar to a player of Lindholm's stature from 2 seasons ago when he also played with, at the time, one of the best players, wingers in hockey, and Johnny Gaudreau, and the other guy who still is, Matthew Tkachuk. And again, Japan, he says it best right here. This is, again, why we traded for him so early. Because you get to figure all this stuff out. And it goes back to Tocchet doing the whole puzzle thing, right? Lindholm came in. He's a pretty big piece. Look at the assets. He began becoming uber fascinated with what could be with his roster. Again, hockey nerd. Rick Tocchet might win Jack Adams of the Year. One of the coolest guys in hockey. Look at his history. Look at who he's played with. Look at the jobs he's had as well, whether it be coaching or in entertainment. This guy's a hockey nerd. Loves hockey so much. Makes the game way better because of his love and passion for the game. How can you not want to try the most when there's a 20-point cushion? Straight up, you know? Anyways, okay, so I got a comment right here, okay? The music in the back. I guess that's my cue to get out of here, okay? Again, I wasn't supposed to do this. I wasn't. But I had to, man. For you and you. And I'm not going to lie, for myself as well, okay? Anyways, my name's Kyle Bowen. That's KYLEBHAWAN. Again, one love to the Locked On Podcast Network, instilling that culture. Man, oh man, it's your team every day. It's also, more importantly, your Canucks every day. Shout out to the Don't Doze Art Lab for doing its thing, providing the space. Speaking of the space, dude, KGB making music in the back, doing the most. I'm not even allowed to do this, but I took the risk for the Canucks, okay? We doing this together. And I think we're still going to be playing in June. I'm going to make a lot of burgers in June while watching the game. Dude, I'm living the dream. Thanks to you and you and you and you. Have a good night and go Canucks go.
Man, we're going to have a lot of fun tonight in Vancouver, all my real fans.
You're Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks.